Welcome to the Business Growth Podcast. Today I'm here with Taylor, the owner from AlphaGraphics. Welcome to the show.
Awesome, Leonard. Thanks for having me today. I appreciate it.
All right, so tell us a little bit more. What do you do at AlphaGraphics?
Absolutely. So I am the owner of AlphaGraphics, which is it's a worldwide franchise, and we do commercial print, sign, marketing, and design. So everything from simple business cards, which aren't that popular anymore, to big things like signage, vehicle wraps, and apparel, promotional items, all that kind of stuff. So we have a lot of fun with it, and we get to be creative.
Yeah, okay, nice. And I know you've got three locations with that.
Yes, that's
So
correct.
tell
So we
me,
got three locations, and that's here in San Antonio, Texas, in the United States. And between the three locations, we have about 20 team members.
okay, and like what got you into that niche initially?
It's pretty interesting. So I actually came to the United States when I was 18 with my family. We moved down as a family, my mother, my father, brother, and sister. And we initially moved down here to Texas, which is one of the nicer parts of the United States weather-wise, to get away from all of the snow in Canada, because where we come from, it's about 8 months of winter, freezing all the time. And
Mhm.
we wanted to go somewhere where we weren't going to have to deal with that anymore. So we got down to South Texas, and the only way we were allowed to move to the United States from Canada was by owning and operating a business. So that's kind of what got our foot in the door to allow us to move down here.
Oh, right. Okay, so your parents bought one of these franchise businesses, essentially.
Yeah, essentially we bought a business. We came down as a family and decided to run it together. And then that was back in 2009, so about 16 years ago. And then coming up through that, we ended up, figuring out what we were doing, and we now have three locations. So we expanded from one to the three that we have currently now.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. So it's like a family-run business,
It is,
essentially.
yeah. Essentially, me and my parents kind of oversee things as a team, and then we have all of our other staff members that do different roles and responsibilities throughout the different locations.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty cool. And then how is it working with your family?
It's pretty cool. So I was a professional ice hockey player before I got into the business, and
Hmm.
so I was really good just from being in sports and doing that for a career. Working as a team, having goals and targets to go towards, and so
Hmm.
moving into the business world that set me up really well. And my parents and I, we have a really good relationship, so it's always been pretty smooth. I kind of started at the bottom as the delivery driver and worked my way up through the business, kind of learning every facet of it as we went along until
Hmm.
I think my skill that I didn't know I had until I got the opportunity was sales. And learning how to sell and finding success in that is what allowed me to be able to save the money so we could start expanding to buying those other locations. So it was an interesting journey from delivery driver to being an owner of one of the locations myself, but it's been a fun ride.
Yeah, it's really like what Drake says with like started from the bottom, now we're here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact,
Um,
one of the challenges of buying a business that was already in action or functioning was we came into it not knowing a lot about the business at all, and we
yeah.
had to learn by making a lot of mistakes. And we definitely, when we bought it, the revenue definitely went down as we figured our way through it. But after
Yeah.
about 3 to 5 years, we really kind of found our own way, our own method, and that's what helped us kind of take off and take it back into the positive.
Yeah. Okay. And then what made like your family decide to buy this type of business? Like why
Yeah,
you
so
know
we
why this specific niche?
we had a business broker, so we had the opportunity to look at several different kinds of businesses of all styles. I remember we looked at some car washes, we looked at a few restaurants. I think we even looked at a marina, like where they park the boats and something like that, taking care of a marina.
Mhm.
But the really attractive thing about this business was that it had a really good cash flow. It was already well established. It opened in 1983, so it had a really great track record. And it's closed on the weekends, so we were able to have Saturday and Sunday off. So that was a big benefit as well. Knowing things like restaurants, for example, you got to work 7 days a week, and it's hard to
Mm.
get away. So it was really attractive to have a Monday through Friday operation.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Yeah, it sounds like you had a pretty like well researched thing in terms of deciding what to move ahead with.
Yes, we definitely had some help. So it was really cool to see all of the different opportunities and options that were out there. But at the end of the day, we tried to make one that would balance business and lifestyle, I guess, at the same time.
Yeah, nice. And then so you recently opened up a new location. What's like the plan now with that?
So I would say, so this was the first one we opened January of this year, 2025, and we opened it. from scratch. So our second one, I actually bought an existing business and converted into AlphaGraphics and kind of made it into our brand. But this third one we opened from the ground up. We built out the retail space. We put in all the machines, and we started with zero clients and zero revenue. So that was a new experience, and definitely, I would say, a little more difficult than taking on
Mhm.
an existing business. It's definitely been a challenge, but knowing that we can take over a business and start one, I think that gives us a lot of opportunity to, as we want to scale and grow, we can either look at both of those options going forward, as we now have experience in doing both.
Oh yeah, yeah. I imagine it's two completely different approaches, like buying and then or starting one from scratch.
Absolutely. It's probably like drinking out of a fire hose, buying the one that's existing because there's just so much coming at you and it's already happening. And then the other one is when you're like starting a long, marathon sprint and you have to start out slow and gradually build up the momentum and the energy to get some traction.
Yeah, definitely. And then, so what are some of the business goals for, say, like the next 12 months?
Yeah, for the next 12 months, we've actually just been starting to get some traction with the new location, but we really want to solidify having the three that we have now. Essentially, we don't want to grow too fast where we have too many, things going on and we can't keep up with them. So right now, the first two are really well established, have a great client base. But in the next 12 months, I'd love to get our newest location up, within 50 to 60% of the revenues that the other two are doing. And at
Mhm.
that point, I feel like we're going to have a solid grounding, a solid team where we can say, hey, let's look at expanding into location number four.
Yeah. Okay. And then how do you plan on getting that new location to that 50-60% revenue goal?
So definitely for our business, it's very much heavily obviously focused on sales and relationships. So I've had a lot of success. This new location is in a big downtown environment here in San Antonio. We have a really large city. It's about 2.5 million people. And I have been having tremendous success networking and,
Oh,
just going to all the events. There's so many business events, things that you can go to, community get-togethers. And it's just a matter of going out there and making sure that people know your name and whenever they think about your product or service being the one that they call on, being the one that they come to because you're front and center in their mind and their attention.
okay. Nice. And tell me a little bit more. What's your approach with the networking process? Because like for me, I've always done everything online. Like
Okay.
I've never been to a networking event really. Like I've been to some conferences, but
Okay.
I've actually never been to a networking event. So everything's just always been
Yeah.
online.
Well, to be honest, obviously online is a huge aspect and we would never be okay without it. But just something about having that personal touch where you can shake someone's hand, look them in the eye, make that connection. It just leaves an impression, I think, more one than you can get through talking to
Yeah.
someone, over text. And another, one big benefit that I've found is playing golf. I'm a big golfer. And it's really great opportunity because you have to spend 4 hours walking with somebody that you don't know, and it gives you lots of time to get to know somebody and build a relationship in that little
Yeah.
condensed time period. So I think it's really just about being able to shake someone's hand, make that personal connection, and leave them with an impression that they'd like to know more about you and more about what you do.
Yeah. And then so when you're going to these networking events, is this more just a business networking where just a bunch of entrepreneurs, or is it more like I guess like a trade show and then you've got a booth and you guys are showcasing
No,
your
so yeah, mine is more, we do kind of, I would say things like we call it a chamber of commerce. So it's where all of the business owners in that section of the city will come together to meet and to connect on how things are going in our area, as
yeah.
well as I do a few kind of charity events like Rotary. I know that's a worldwide thing. And so we do things where we'll go, build playgrounds for kids or go clean up, the city park. And you do that with other business owners and other successful individuals. And you take that time where you're donating, helping the community, and at the same time building those business relationships. So it's a cool hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Nice. So like the Chamber of Commerce event is just like a bunch of entrepreneurs in a room and then you
absolutely.
guys are just talking.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
just mingling and moving from conversation to conversation and just getting to know the close community of everybody that's kind of in the same area.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then so let's say you meet someone, how do you go from, okay, I spoke to this person at this event for 5 minutes to now they're a client? What's kind of like the process for that?
Absolutely. So definitely for me, I'm a printer, so I have cool business cards. That's the first thing that I'm going to leave with somebody. And then
Uh-huh.
talking to the social media aspect, definitely LinkedIn is a great business tool for networking for me, as well
Yeah.
as if we can get their Instagram, it's a great place to have a chat.
Okay.
But the nice thing about being in commercial printing is anybody that's in business needs something that I do, whether it be a sign on their storefront, whether it be, a marketing handout or a flyer or a
Yeah.
t-shirt. They all need something. So it's very easy for me and my business to start that conversation. And just being that relationship based helper, I like to say, hey, next time you need this, here's my card, let me know. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of put them into a follow-up cycle. Maybe I don't want to overwhelm them, but once every month or two, I'll just send a little check-in and say, just a reminder, if you need any of these, da 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 da, here I am, let me know, and just leave it at that. And then one day at the right time, they say, you know what, that is what I need. And then we take that first impression, we win them over, make sure that they have an awesome experience with us, and then they don't want to go anywhere else after that for all their future needs.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Yeah, I definitely need to check that in-person events out sometime. I've been,
I
yeah,
mean,
very,
it's great too, just for even doing things like this podcast where you're able to step into a room and be able to talk to people and have that confidence about yourself to show what you can do. And
yeah.
just it's good to network and it's good to be able to speak. It helps your public speaking, all of that stuff. So
Oh yeah.
it really helps. It helps with that. Obviously, I was obviously nervous the first few times, not knowing what to say or maybe having my elevator pitch down. But after you've done enough connections and met enough people, it gets a lot easier.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Nice. Yeah. I'm gonna put it on my goals of one of the things I want
I love
to
it.
do. And then so when we spoke last, you said one of the things you guys are working on at the moment is a little bit more AI implementation, especially for some of like the repetitive tasks. Can you walk us through that a little bit?
Absolutely. So we have a lot of clients that are, bigger corporate clients and they need stuff all day, every day. A lot of it may be just a simple example would be, team apparel, like team polos. And we're working on it now, but we're getting to the point where we can automate all of our online ordering portals and systems to take that order that they put through on their end and have way less human touch points on our end to get that order received into production and ready to go out the door. So it's just a lot of automating processes that have been around forever that we've all been doing by hand or manually on the computer and using
Yeah.
AI to really take a lot of those touch points away and just simplify the process from order to completion.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then so let's say you had a magic AI robot in the business. What task is the next task that you would get it to do?
I mean, ideally, too, I think it would be awesome to automate a lot of things, even like doing payroll, like calculating the amount of hours that people put in, verifying that. I know sometimes you have to check it for accuracy, but it'd be cool to have an AI system where we can handle some of those HR tasks that are the tedious ones. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like when you're there making paychecks or calculating paychecks that you're really helping sell things for the business. It's kind of one of those monotonous tasks.
Okay.
So anything where there doesn't really take that forward front facing person angle in the business,
Yeah.
it would be great to automate any one and every one of those behind the scenes processes.
Yeah. Okay. And any other examples aside from the HR payroll
Well,
thing?
I even things like I've been using, I have the Chat GPT Pro Plus subscription. So,
Yeah.
just, it's really cool. It's been learning how I talk and how I work. And I can have a long drawn out email that, man, I've got so many other things I could be doing, and I'll drop that into Chat GPT and say, analyze this email, let me know what my best response should be. Obviously, I'm going to
Right.
double check it, make sure that I agree with it. But
Yeah.
even doing little things like that has saved me the time of taking 3 minutes to read an email, another 5 minutes to type it, all condensed down into
Mhm.
like a 30-second, 45-second process from what it used to be. So getting better
Mhm.
at that. Learning, I've been watching a lot of the YouTube training videos and just learning how to be better at prompting and how to use AI as a
Mhm.
real tool as opposed to
Yeah.
just using it as like a search engine, like I know a lot of people do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The email thing I do a lot as well. Especially because I can get the gist of the message that I want, but then to make it look professional
Mhm.
just takes a lot of extra time. And so I just type this is like the gist I want to get. Now make this sound good. And it just saves so much time and it makes me sound a lot smarter and everything as well. So I definitely do that as well.
Agreed. Yep. So yeah, those are kind of just those little daily tasks that add up when you don't find ways to automate it and speed them up. Every one
Mhm.
of those seconds you get back counts to being more productive in the future.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And then you said as well, one of the things you're working on is working like delegating more as a business owner. So what does that look like?
Yeah. So, as an entrepreneur, as you know, I'm sure sometimes it feels like the only way to get something done is if you do it, or at least to do it the way you want it done.
Hmm.
So what I've really been working on is building out, recording, and writing down the processes of what I
Hmm.
do day to day that's successful. And I want to make it into almost like a handbook or a playbook that, you can pass on to people and have them say, hey, here's step A to step Z. Just follow A, B, C, D, and you'll get to Z eventually, and everything will be right. And I
Yeah.
know it's never going to be perfect. It might not be the way that I want to do it all the time, but I have to learn, I have to be comfortable with the fact that, five people doing what I used to do is going to be a lot more efficient, even if it's maybe 80% of what I was doing. Having five people
Hmm.
doing 80% of what I, and expanding that and scaling it out is going to make a big
Hmm.
difference in the long run. And of course, if we want to get bigger and we have 4, 10, 12 locations, there's no way I can do it all. So I'm going to have to delegate or I'll never get to my goal.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's what, and
Yeah.
I'm not, and by no means an expert at it yet. So that's what I'm really working on personally as a business owner now is to learn how to be comfortable and effectively delegate my roles and responsibilities that I could be better spent elsewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm a little bit the same as well. I don't like delegation as much. It's always like I know I can do this task better, but then in order for the business to scale, yeah, you need to. And then creating, like you said, the SOPs and anything and everything, so someone else can just come in and follow. Okay, cool. I got to do this, do that, do that. But it is a process setting that up, and then also finding the right people to
Right.
replace you is a challenge in itself.
Absolutely. And I think I have a lot of friends that are successful and they have executive assistants and people that have taken years to train, but now that they've done it and they've got them the right way, they've helped them automate and free up so much of their time.
Oh,
I have one really good friend who has her assistant handle every single one of her emails and all of her calendar invites, and she doesn't have to do any of it because that assistant knows her so well that she
yeah.
can she can just go and do all of her tasks like my friend was doing it herself. So
Oh yeah.
eventually, that's like the gold standard I'd love to get to, but I've got a long
Mm.
ways to go.
Yeah, and a really good thing that I do as well. Have you heard of Toggle? It's like a time tracking software.
But I'd like to learn more.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So with Toggle, you can track like every minute of your day, what you're spending doing what, and then saying, okay, cool, this one activity I'm spending 2 hours every day doing. Okay, what can I do to outsource it? What can I do to automate it? And it just makes you very like conscious of exactly how you're spending every minute. It also like I see, okay, how much time I spend eating in a week, and
Sure.
it's crazy how much time you spend like eating, cleaning, meal prepping, food
Mhm.
shopping. It's nuts like when it all adds up. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Like I'll check it out. Toggl.
Absolutely will. I think the only thing you can't outsource is maybe going to the gym, right?
Yeah, and
But that's cool. I
not
love it.
not not yet, but you I guess you could take some stuff that would help that.
That's right.
But
Make it more
yeah.
efficient. Okay. No, I'll definitely check
Um,
that out. Thanks for the tip.
all right. Yeah, no worries. So I know we're starting to run out of time here. So what would you say is like let's finish on what would you say is like one of the biggest lessons you've learned as a business owner?
Sure. So I would say, whatever you want to accomplish in business, generally, I mean, unless it's a brand new business or no idea, somebody's already done it. So I've
Mm,
had a lot of great success with finding mentors, not that have done something else and they may seem to have good ideas, but someone that's specifically done what I want to do. And just like you said with the SOPs, following their procedure, following their operations, you may have to tweak it a little bit for yourself, but just find somebody that's already done what you want to do and follow their playbook and get the same results. And I've had a lot of success through my sales career, learning from a couple of good sales coaches, just through leadership, people like John Maxwell, and
mm,
of course, personal development, people like Tony Robbins, and they've all accomplished things that I want to do, that I'm trying to do. And it's great to see somebody that's taken the time to put all of their knowledge and all of their learnings and all of their experiences where you can learn from them, and I just swallow that up all day as much as I can because every more thing that I can save time learning without having make my own mistakes, it's going to save me, like we said, time in the future. So I love to
mm.
learn now and save time later.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I'm super big in like investing into mentors and everything as well. And it really helps you just speed up that learning curve rather than just try to figuring things out in the dark.
Absolutely. And I think now, even like you said, with AI, I'm sure that's all going to tie in somehow. And we're going to be able to save even more time and learn more things through that collective
Mhm.
knowledge in the future.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, it's been great having you on the show. We can definitely go a lot longer. But where can people go to find a little bit more about you and what you guys do?
Absolutely. So probably the best way, let's do Instagram. My personal one is at TC Abbott 7. And then my LinkedIn is just my name, Taylor Abbott. And both of those places, you're going to see me posting a lot of the cool projects that we work on as a team every day. And then from there, you'll find all of the other links to my companies. Since it's a franchise, we have our specific franchise locations that you can link to. But yeah,
Hmm.
AlphaGraphics is the company and Taylor Abbott is the name.
All right, awesome. I'll include those in the show notes. It's been great having you here. You guys have been listening to the Business Growth Podcast. Until next time, keep growing.